Versatile Mage. Chapter 135. That's far too provoking. The pillar of rose flames had disappeared. They were merging into Mo Fan's body like a child wanting to follow Daddy Mo Fan in exploring the world. As soon as Mo Fan took a step, a scorched footprint was burned into the ground. A layer of red flames shrouded him now. The feeling of possessing a newborn power spurred Mo Fan to roar aloud, like a tyrannosaurus bellowing towards the sky. Beside the rocks nearby, Tang Yu's breathing gradually returned to normal before she opened her beautiful, blurry eyes. After noticing Mo Fan's transformation, Tang Yu hummed. This time he had really benefited. If it wasn't for the dangerous chemical stimulation, Tang Yu would have never given it to Mo Fan. This thing would have been given to the country. However, bringing Mo Fan with her this time had not been a bad idea either. If Chao He had prevailed, then matters would have gotten even worse. The price of unsealing that layer of curses would have been astronomical, so much that it even made Tang Yu consider burning herself to death. All the people's remains will be confiscated, don't worry about it, Tang Yu coldly said after she saw Mo Fan's greedy face. Mo Fan grinned as he replied quickly, Of course, Tang Yu, are you alright? I'm fine, I have disappointed you. Her emotions were written all over her face. The flustered woman's expression seemed just like a shy, overworked woman. Mo Fan seemed like the man who had just sat there and enjoyed his life. Mo Fan knew that Tang Yu was not happy because she had been drugged by that sort of substance. He didn't want to annoy her further, and obediently followed her order to report the dead to the higher ranks. Magical tools were bound to the owner's soul. When the owner died, their spirits dispersed, and the magical items they owned would also be destroyed. They wouldn't have many other worthy items with them. Tang Yu took away only one weirdly shaped ring from Chao He's corpse. Normally, she would explain things that Mo Fan didn't understand. This time, her cold expression hinted to Mo Fan that she wasn't in the mood. Mo Fan and Tang Yu returned to town after quickly leaving the crime scene. It was clear that she was still dealing with residual effects. She called a taxi and had it drive her back to the city. While sitting in the rear seat, Mo Fan closed his eyes while savoring the strange feeling the rose flames were giving him. He could smell something faint at the tip of his nose, vaguely like the scent coming off Tang Yu. It smelled like a rose, sexy and alluring. The spiritual fire can change the physique of the magician. Unless you meet a stronger fire seed, any damage done by other types of fire will be weaker. Tang Yu broke the silence with a cold and elegant voice, showing once again the traits of a teacher. So that's how it works. I thought a magician's physique would always remain this weak. Mo Fan was pleasantly surprised. There was a certain level of immunity against fire, an excellent protective effect. When fighting against fire magicians in the future, this would essentially make him invulnerable. No wonder spirit-grade fire seeds were so expensive. For those wealthy people, it was certainly worth spending so much money on these upgrades. Mo Fan nodded back to her, thinking about the conversation Chao He and Tang Yu had. He asked, Is the reason why you were chasing him related to the violent spring and what happened at Bo City? Tang Yu looked out the window and replied, Yes. The violent spring is a special type of medicine. It should not be easily found in the hands of the Black Vatican, and in such a massive quantity. We think there is some apothecary in the Magic Association defying the rules, and selling high-level contraband to the Black Vatican for their own benefit. Chao He should have had some information in regard to this, but unfortunately, he is gone. Hopefully we can find some information from his ring. It might have been because of some embarrassing scenes in her mind, but she refused to make eye contact with Mo Fan at this moment. It did not matter to Mo Fan. He was just staring at Tang Yu, who still had noticeably flushed cheeks. Mo Fan looked down a little and found her petite hands gripping tightly onto the cushion, almost ripping it apart. Looking at her evasive eyes again, her pupils seemed to be hiding some sort of impulse. Tang Yu, are you really alright? Mo Fan wholeheartedly asked without any wicked thoughts. It was obvious how dangerous the evil maniac Chow He was. He assumed that if it wasn't her very last resort, she definitely would not have let Mo Fan come and assist her. Moreover, when fighting against Chow He, Tang Yu did not actually plan on having Mo Fan take action. Chow He was too horrifying and cunning, and Mo Fan didn't have the experience and proper abilities to protect himself. Out of protection for Mo Fan, Tang Yu didn't ask him to directly interfere. How could Mo Fan not notice this kindness from her? Now that this kind of embarrassing thing had happened to her, Mo Fan let go of his wicked thoughts to help her. Just when Mo Fan was about to ask a question out of concern, his whole being froze. Just like that, one rosy red lip kissed Mo Fan. The soft tongue seemed to instantly want to ignite all his primitive lusts. It broke right through Mo Fan's untested defenses and scattered all his pure thoughts. He used lightning to attack his enemies, but Mo Fan felt the electrifying feeling on himself this time. The numbness from the tip to the end of his tongue, from the bottom of the tongue to his whole body, it felt like he was being baptized once more. All of his cells were active and his blood seemed to thunder in his veins. There was a soft fragrance carrying the wild characteristics of a beauty as it crashed into him. He was completely unprepared and felt extremely apprehensive. However, he quite enjoyed it. Groan. When the pleasant sound passed by the driver, he subconsciously turned around and saw what had happened. His heart began to pump fast. Aren't you a bit too impatient? I understand if you youths want to please yourselves in a car, but this is a taxi. If I remember correctly, the young man called the beauty a teacher. Heavens! This is too exhilarating. Buzz! Suddenly, purple lightning lashed out toward the front seat of the car. The bolt instantly broke the car's rearview mirror into pieces, scattering them everywhere. The driver turned back shivering, his face pale white. If you dare to turn around again, you're dead. Mo Fan shouted at the driver when he was finally able to take a breath. The driver didn't dare to do it again. He behaved and stared straight at the steering wheel. Occasionally, he heard the erotic sounds the girl was making from the back of the car, and felt like he was about to faint from hearing them. Chapter end. Please guys like, comment, share, and subscribe.